seems short-sighted to me. And I'll also add that there is significant uncertainty about it. Our state legislator just passed new pension reform, and I just talked to our Ed Red representative, our lobbyist down in Springfield, and she assures me that we shall see legislation be introduced in the springtime related to the cost share of the pension liability, and that will come to our district, adding to our expense line. To continue though, we pay for the schools no matter what. Whether we pay now or we pay later, we pay. Our kids deserve a good education. Our property values depend on good schools. I would rather incur the increase in taxes at a gradual pace rather than a hit all at once. The best case scenario would be that cost-cutting measures continue to occur and some amount of the tax levy would come back to the taxpayers. But given all the change in the district, 3 new board members, a new administration, a review of past expenditures, an alignment with Common Core curriculum, and a growing population, I'm asking the board to choose the maximum tax levy. This year, choose the maximum tax levy this year, knowing that it is just 365 days to a different choice can be made. Abundance of caution is needed in this changing environment. And I again echo that last sentence.
Thank you. I would just echo David and Eric's comments, and I key in a little bit on the enrollment, and I just went back and looked at enrollment over the last 10 years, and we've grown by about 40%. And so I'm concerned because I don't see that trend going the other direction, and I believe that this district also relishes the small class sizes, and if we don't continue to bring in revenue, changes will have to be made because salaries are the biggest portion of our. So to me, that in the end, I believe that will result in some academic performance decreases over time.
No,
And that's
and
important.
we're looking at I'm looking at our audit report. A good $12 million is tied up in the salary and benefits of our instructional staff and our support staff. So we can expect, in that last financial projections that Zach provided us, he used an assumption, I think it was 3% increase. So $12,360,000 every year added to our expense line. If you go for anything less than 1.7, you're just increasing the deficit quicker that we will have to deal with, and it's going to have to come someplace. So like the statement that I read, the comment letter, we pay at some point, we will have to pay.
I'm going to speak a little bit to the other side. I want to say to Art and David, I appreciate you guys coming to some compromise and trying to do that. I don't think all is lost. I don't think for those of us that support flat levy, we see this as an ultimatum. It's 1 year, and it's just it's a snapshot of what's happening at this time. And we can make projections and we can look at things. I think our problem is not only, I think Randy really hit the nail on the head saying we have not even begun to start cost cutting. In addition to that, in this budget time, we had to rely on a lot of estimates because there's a lot of things that we haven't figured out that we've inherited from the last administration. It's no knock to the current administration. We just need the time to kind of sort things out. There's just a lot of things going on right now, and we just haven't even figured out what costs what and what we're going to do in the future. So I think we just need to get a hold of what's going on right now. I don't know what our need is yet based upon that. The other thing that I do see is I've seen what's happened. I've been here for 10 years, and I've seen what's happened to my tax bill, and as every Riverside, North Riverside, Brookfield, small part of Brookfield resident has seen. And I've looked at some reports and some figures to support that, and I sent one to Mary Rose. There's a study done by the Heartland Institute, which is a policy and tax analyst group, and out of 150-some suburbs in Cook County, Riverside is 4th highest as far as the rate of increase in property taxes. That's just attributed to District 96. And we are behind 3 communities, Joliet, Carpentersville, and Tilling Park. Their populations some of them have gone up. I had the numbers, it was like 26% was one of them, 50%, the other one was close to, I think the population doubled. population in our District 96 have gone down 4.5%. So we talk about our enrollment numbers, and I didn't look at specifically at their enrollment numbers, and I'm sorry, I should have done that to really back up, but the enrollment numbers generally follow the population trends. So I don't think things are as grave as we present them to be. Let's figure this out and reevaluate next year.
No, I agree. I don't think we're in grave, dire districts, but we have to acknowledge that a flat levy equates to $400,000 out of our revenue stream. That's $400,000 every single year. So it's not just $400,000 this year. It's $400,000 every single year going forward. So $800,000 over 2 years, 1.2 billion cumulatively just adds up. It's out of our base. That you're not, so it's a long-standing impact. I'd also say that, you know, you need to look at these other districts and see where are they getting the funding for their districts. We're 90% funded by our property tax. That's it.
That's why I try.
And so that's where the funding has to come from, to maintain. And we're seeing already, I mean, look at all these committees that are working on upgrades to our curriculum, to keep up, to meet the increasing demands that are being placed on public education. That's going to incur costs. Where are you going to find that funding? If you don't fund for it, then things have to be, we have to find ways, we have to find places where we can cut. And I would just, my caution is, you should find the areas for savings first before you make these cuts. Because right now it's just a promise. And if that promise doesn't get fulfilled, then the cost that you pay, that the taxpayers will pay, will be much greater.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think we
How
have to
is
start
it not? If
cutting.
the promise doesn't come through, that you can find the savings.
We need to find the savings. We have addressed, I think this current administration has
That's fine.
addressed tons of low-hanging fruit. Let's go there and let's see. I don't think we're gonna, and we're not gonna have
But if it
so
doesn't,
much
what I'm saying is that if it
reserves.
doesn't come to fruition, then
Maybe just, yes.
if it doesn't.
Let's try. Let's see what happens.
Okay, yeah, I'm all for trying, and I think no one here is saying that we shouldn't continue, no matter what gets voted, what gets approved today. I think we're all committed to looking for those areas.
Absolutely.
For cost cutting.
Agreed.
But still delivering a quality education for our children.
And I think we can do that.
Because it impacts every single taxpayer here, whether you have children or you don't have children.
I couldn't agree more. Education is important. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying we need to assess what our need is. We don't even really know what our needs are right now.
Yeah, and I'm all for that.
And we've got, and
I
we
would
were
just
also
prefer that we
holding on to
assess
too much
first
money.
before we cut.
Well, we've always assessed first, and we've never gotten cuts. I think maybe we just try it 1 year or two.
Well, this is a new
and cut
board.
first.
This is a new
But
board.
it was a new board 2 years ago. There'll always be a new board every 2 years, so.
I would just say that I was elected this past spring, and in my little stump speeches and in writing, in the landmark interview, I talked about no tax to the max, and that was a new phrase for me, but I felt that it was appropriate, and I was elected, and the voters spoke, and I'm here today because of them. And I feel even more certain than then that cost cutting is going to be accomplished, and I think the cost cutting should come with the tax savings. Or if you don't tie the two together, it's just not appropriate. So,
Well, if you can't tie the two together, then it's impractical.
anyway, I feel like the voters have spoken, and I know there's been letters in the newspaper and in our email, but for the most part, I'm hearing that our taxes have gone up enough, and that there's a limit to what people will pay.
All right.
ready to call the roll here? Or to call the roll for the maximum tax levy? I don't know if we want to repeat the,
Because it's not maximum, it's 1.7. It's not
Yeah, I like to correct,
Okay.
let's say accurate, it's just, say, 1.7%.
CPI.
Okay, thank you. I'm just gonna say this is, Juanita will be calling the roll in support of the 1.7 CPI levy.
Randy Brockway,
No.
Lisa Gainer,
Excuse me.
David Cadamo,
Aye.
Rachel Morello, Michael O'Brien,
No.
Arthur Perry,
Aye.
Mary Rose Mangia.
No. Right. May I have, thank you, we have not passed the levy of 1.7% increase. So that's been defeated. May I have a motion for a zero increase in the levy, in other words, flat equal to last year?
I'd like to move that we do a flat levy for the year 2013-14.
Yes, 2013.
I'll second that.
Right. Second that. Any further discussion on that point? No?
No, except to just reiterate that this, if this gets approved, then we should have, an honest conversation about what currently on our agenda needs to come off. New addition, things that are not absolutely essential, that add new costs, need to be pulled off. We need to be open and honest with our community about that. So there's quite a few things that are already on our agendas that would incur new additional costs.
I agree, and I think in either case, we would, we feel, that's a community in either case.
And I'll just add too that, just with this respect to enrollment, with respect to your comments about the report, whatever the population of our district is, the enrollment is climbing. There's ample evidence that it's been climbing consistently and doesn't show signs of dropping anytime soon. So that means we are going to have serious discussions about things like class sizes, about programs. So I'll just say that much. I think I've said plenty already.
The previous boards have passed the maximum tax levy for as long as I know. And there has not been real serious discussion. So I think by saying no this year, it will initiate the discussion for the cost cutting, to make it a serious issue and to make it real to us all.
All right, Juanita, once again, I'd like to call the roll to approve a zero increase in the levy over last year. So we flatted last year's levy without an increase.
Arthur Perry,
No.
Mary Rose Mangia,
Yes.
Michael O'Brien,
Yes.
Rachel Morello. Yes. David Cadamo,
No.
Lisa Gainer,
No.
Randy Brockway.
Yes.
It's the motion to pass a tax levy with a 0% increase has passed. Thank you.
I would like to move that we adjourn the special meeting.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
We need a break.
A quick break.
Very
and,
quick break. All right, we'll convene the education